Good day, and thank you for visiting my channel, Coin Lady. This is totally insane. The silent bit was just spoken out by the SEC, and we need to discuss it since it is crucial. This is going to happen in the next few months, and I want you to be ready for it, so I'm going to offer you the largest warning I've ever given you on this channel in this video. CPI statistics and the data they are pushing on us are complete and utter bullshit, and we are still tracking inflation incorrectly. Everything is fiction. It's all a fabrication. They seldom tell us the truth, but this time is different, isn't it? As if they would absolutely refuse to tell us the truth. The government will inflate everything, support the markets, and keep things running until suddenly everything collapses. If the wealthy had foresight. It is all known to them already. They have the exact time in mind when it will occur. You know, they have this all planned out. Moreover, this dates back to 2018, which is the most bizarre part. Citizens are not swayed by misleading numbers, as this practice has persisted for many years. The article was published in 2018. The major players, governments, and central banks have been lying to us for some time now. Political pressure and leaked reports are putting the faith in economic data to the test, while evidence of data manipulation persists. Why am I even mentioning this? An unprecedented number of people gathered for a presidential debate, and you know what? Concerning the US financial economy, no inquiries were posed over here. I must admit, this is quite rare for me to find common ground with Peter Schiff. What a shame it is. The national debt, the cost of servicing that debt, entitlement spending, high inflation, rising unemployment, record high consumer debt, record low savings, and the explosion of moonlighting were all mentioned, but ABC chose not to ask about any of them. Why? They must keep you entertained and distracted from the truth in order to keep the huge show going. As far as we are concerned, it is imminent. One day we will reach a snag, and suddenly out of nowhere, the truth will emerge, and it will be nasty. I can already tell it will be ugly. Here we have the United States national debt at an all-time high. It was done. Good job, everyone. With the national debt expected to reach over $1.2 trillion in the next 12 months, we are currently spending over $100 billion each month on interest payments. This is completely out of control. It accounts for about 25% of the government's total revenue. So, to clarify, let me remind you of what Janet Yellen said us back in 2023, that we aim to print $50 trillion by 2030. Well, it appears that we are going to hit $50 trillion far earlier than expected. I cannot comprehend. This is complete and utter madness. I should probably remind you everyone that this is happening as the economy is showing signs of a strong recovery according to the data we're seeing, including the CPI numbers. Now that we're beginning to expand, we can see that inflation is much lower according to CPI data. It's completely absurd. Why? Due to the fact that we are in an election year. The interest expense on the US government debt is already at a record $3 billion per day. In 2025, the true picture suddenly becomes apparent after all the pretense. This has quadrupled in value in the past 10 years and has quadrupled again in the past 2.5 years. The staggering total interest paid on the national debt in the second quarter of 2024 was $1.1 trillion. Whatever happens with all government bonds and a 1% rate drop by the federal, the daily interest expense will remain at $2.5 billion even if yields fall by 1%. That would be twice the average wage from 2009 to 2019. To say that there is a debt issue would be a major understatement. Indeed, we are facing a major debt catastrophe. The level of this goes beyond it. Hearing people say things like, "Oh, we're going to avoid a recession," is comical. A recession is completely out of the question. People still seem to be spending more than they need to. People are still using debt as a weapon. I am concerned about this. Lots of consumer markets are going to be confronted with rude awakening. Just like in 2001 and 2008, the retail market is currently experiencing a parabolic rise in unemployment, the flash crash of 1987 also started in September. I don't believe that to be the case at the moment, but it does indicate the direction we are going. There will soon be a storm. The most bizarre part is that the SEC has recently released a detailed analysis of Gary Gensler's speech, which includes internal remarks. Take a look at Gensler's private remarks that the SEC accidentally made public. OMG. It would be greatly appreciated if you could include a remark here or somewhere in the beginning of the speech to reassure the markets that you are not delivering this address due to concerns about an impending crisis. Well, would you believe it? Crisis in the horizon? It's still going strong. A debt crisis has occurred. This is an understatement, but regulators from all over the globe do the right thing by periodically reviewing, reassessing, and testing these procedures. Given my background and position as a regulator of the capital markets, I've been thinking about giving the speech for some time now in order to provide my 2 cents. Since the SEC did not want you to believe that a crisis was happening, it appears that they are now getting us ready for one. I find this amusing. Word has gotten out. Where there is silence, there is peace. Even if it has been evident, you now realize that we are headed there. Pay attention, this is completely clear. Do you think a big crash is imminent, tomorrow, next week, or next month? I believe we melt up first and foremost. In my opinion, this is one of the biggest bull runs in recent memory. The mere act of pulling over the carpets is going to cause everyone to become ecstatic. Stocks are here. With $6.3 trillion sitting on the sidelines, money market funds are at an all-time high. I've never heard of a recession occurring during a period of record high liquidity. The retail and institutional sectors each contribute to this. $2.5 trillion is allocated for retail use, while $3.7 trillion is reserved for institutional use. Thus, this is of utmost importance. Instead of putting that 5% into the markets, they're going with the risk-free option. I mean, this has the potential to soon break into these markets and soar to new heights, doesn't it? The risk markets are going to go ballistic over this. In my opinion, this is the case. Indeed, I believe this is the subsequent event, all leading up to its eventual collapse. Because this is the identical sequence of events that has occurred in every single crash that humanity has ever experienced. Everyone seems to be anticipating the crash to happen any second now, at least in my opinion. In my opinion, we merely melt down, so it can melt down. The viewer's presence here is greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching my channel and for subscribing. I will see you later.